We are live and we are bringing it. Y'all,
Are
it's
we?
been a day. It's
Girl,
been a day.
I had so many things I wanted to talk about tonight, and then Michigan did Michigan. And now I don't even know where to start.
The
I see
beginning.
Michelle wore her geared up for Kate going off rant on a rant outfit.
Kate's going to go off on a rant. I'm going to go off on a mini rant. We're all about to rant, y'all. Good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of the Archer Football College Podcast. Apologies for last week. I'm feeling 1,000 times better. And I think we're going to have an 1,000 times better show today because all of the this. Anyways, if you're watching over on Facebook, if you're watching over on Twitter, please come on over to YouTube and watch with us so that you can jump in the chat and interact with us, ask questions, all the things. We love our chatties because they're amazing and they ask wonderful questions. Hi, Kristen. She is a regular. So, yeah. Okay, I guess we can start at the beginning. Um, I can't even right now. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the L. I will take the L. A couple hours ago, found out that Michigan's head coach got fired. Now, I had heard whispering, stop it. Stop it, Lisa.
Stop, Lisa. I'll get to you, girl. Get no more Lisa till we get to. I have things to say about this. Let's finish with meat chicken first, shall we?
Yes, let's finish with meat chicken. So, a couple hours ago, found out that Sharon Moore, Michigan's head coach, got fired. 9-3 season, and really wasn't even fired for that. He was fired because apparently he had an affair, got said chick pregnant, and all the other things. And as of 5-10 minutes ago, he's being held by police in Michigan for what? I don't know. Y'all, it's getting worse. And I don't know what to say except for this. You did the crime, you got to pay the cost. So out you go. Was it stupid? It was extremely.
You know,
What crime did he do?
he committed a crime against his wife. It ain't my business.
Oh, that's not a
He's
crime.
the only one who should be upset. I don't know what their marriage problems have to do with your football team. Although I will say they found a very nice and easy way to fire him without having to pay him because he lost to the Buckeyes. His record had not been good, and I know they were thinking about trying to get out of that contract. And then they start looking at Penn State and LSU and some of these other schools and what they got to pay their coaches to go away. And they didn't want to, and they found a reason to not pay him. This is not something they didn't know until today.
Exactly. 1,000% correct.
I said it 20 million years ago when Tiger Woods and his wife had issues, and I'll say it again. This is a him and her problem. This is not something any of us need to be involved in. It makes it more difficult for his wife to forgive him and for them to work through things when the whole world knows what happened.
Exactly. And that's where I am because Michigan is Michigan. They trust me. I know there are people there that can make things go away. I know, not that I know, but I know.
But
we all know, right? So there's something that I don't even know if it was because they lost to the Buckeyes. I don't think that was it. I just don't think that they felt good about the way this program was going. And honestly, I kind of felt bad for Sharon at the beginning of how he kind of got thrown into
so
that
many
coaching
injuries this year. Like you can't even say it was their performance this year. They outkicked their cut. There were a lot of games they won that they had no business winning because of the injuries y'all had. I don't know if you had anybody playing this last week against Ohio State that actually started week one. Like the injury chart was bigger than the depth chart, and you can't blame him for that.
No, not at all.
If he's talking about, if you're looking at the recruiting class and you're looking at the direction he wants to take the program and the kind of team he wants to be, if they had philosophical differences, I didn't say 6-7, I just did this, then that's more what I'm hearing is they were just like, man, maybe he's not the right guy for us. But they found a way to get rid of him without paying him.
Well, he's not the right guy if he's sleeping with the secretaries in the office and all of those things. So that's not a part of his leadership. It may also, I mean, I know it has something to do with him and his wife, but it's not like he's sleeping with somebody outside of the office. He's sleeping with a secretary inside of the office, and that's a no-no. So that is the problem. Plus, he's married. So when you look at all of that, then what kind of leader is he? Is what they're looking at. So any little thing he was going to do was going to push him out the door because, like Sonia said, they weren't happy with the direction of the program anyway. So, you know, I'm curious as to find out what he was arrested for because sleeping with somebody is not a crime. So he had
but you know, again, Tiger Woods, if he went home and his wife found out on the internet and took a golf club to him,
but that was a whole different thing.
So who knows what's going on with them at home now?
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. They were fighting, so the police were called.
Yeah, that's my guess. A lot of this is speculation. I will say the announcement itself was very cryptic. And I understand when the school releases a statement like that, there are things they can say and things they can't say. But the way that it was worded left a whole lot for the interweb folks to interpret in it. It didn't feel like I think the statement just said he was fired for cause and that they had evidence that he entered into an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. And so it's like, I think that means it's consensual because it didn't say. Usually when there's sexual harassment, they come right out and say that. And she's saying it for weeks before the company says it. You know what I mean? So it just left it, and it just made people start digging and Googling and snapping and getting screenshots and looking for all the things. All her social medias. I'm not saying her name. I don't think any of us are going to say her name. If you want to know her name, you can go look and find it because this is all. Thank you, Dana. This is all alleged. But whoever she is, you know, people were going in and looking at different online profiles and messaging her. It may not have been her. It's just those are the things where people, y'all need to relax and sit back and stop, because we don't know anything other than all the things that are coming out now. And how many times have we run into stories like this, ladies, where 24 hours later, it's completely different, or 7-8 days later, it's a whole different thing than what we thought. So the only thing we can say that we know for sure is he done been fired and he ain't getting paid. Now, bro is making $6 million a year. Hopefully he put some of that aside. I would like to think that unlike an NFL player, coaches understand they get fired all the time and they set aside some money for that rainy day. I don't know how rainy the day is can be when you've been making $6 million a year, but he can afford a couple umbrellas. He should be fine. I'm not worried about him. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes him to pick up another job, though. This kind of a thing being blown up like it's going to get blown up may make it harder for him to get a job.
I'll say it's going to make it hard, maybe these next few months or so, but it's going to go away. It'll go away, and he will get hired for something again. He was not a bad coach. He was a fantastic O-line coach. We won the Garrett Award or whatever, the top offensive line wins. So we've done that. He's done well. So I think he will get another job. And you also look at I just saw his name the other day, DJ Durkin, who was our former defensive coordinator a long time ago, went to Maryland. A kid under his watch died. And then he just now is back with someone down south. I don't know. I think some SEC school, but he'll get back out there.
Yeah. So the playoff picture became clearer this week with the official selection of the 12 teams that would be participating in the college FBS playoffs.
You got it, Lisa.
Quite a few surprises. I have thoughts about all of them. The rankings came out. Teams ranked 1 through 10 are all in. Tulane, ranked number 20, will take the 11th spot because I believe they won the American Conference. And team number 24, James Madison, won the Sun Belt Conference. They'll be in there at number 12.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, can you help me understand why ACC Miami U coming in at 10 has made it into the playoff and they are arguably the third best team in their conference because they didn't make the playoff? Where's Duke?
Who?
Duke. Didn't Duke beat Virginia?
Duke is
Aren't
where
they
they
the ACC
Duke is
champs?
wherever they're supposed to be, not in the playoffs.
Why?
Duke shouldn't even been in the championship game. It's the ACC needs to restructure their tiebreaking system. Duke or Virginia, that shouldn't have even been in the game. But I knew Duke would win. But they're not playoff caliber, and these playoffs are not based on just the championship. Florida State didn't get in. They were 13-0. However they were, they didn't get in, right? So BYU didn't get in when they won their title. I mean, this is what they do, right? So the rankings, was Duke ever ranked anywhere in these polls? No. So then there would be a travesty to put Duke into the championship. It's all about the U anyway, Kate. I'm just saying.
I know you beat Notre Dame week 1, right? Like a couple months ago. And then y'all beat Florida State. You beat Notre Dame by 3. You beat Florida State, who was, I think they finished.
They were ranked. Everybody we beat in the beginning, they were ranked.
Yeah. Was there anybody else?
We lost to a couple of unranked teams, but we finished strong. We were on the bubble. I mean, we were in the top 12 in the polls the whole time. So you had to know that we were possibly going to sneak in as long as
I knew you were possibly, but I would have liked to have seen, I don't know, BYU. I know they had 2 losses like you did, but they played in their championship game. They just can't get past Texas Tech.
Well,
yeah.
BYU could take Alabama's spot, but we know how Alabama's going to get in there anyway.
I'm trying to understand how Alabama goes into that game with Georgia ranked at number 10.
What did I say the whole
their
season?
Butts handed to them by Georgia, and they move up to 9.
Sonia, what did I say? Did I say all season Alabama was going to be in these playoffs, no matter what?
We all thought they'd beat Georgia because they have owned Georgia for so long. I was so excited and impressed that Georgia actually handled their business. They showed Alabama for what they are, and now I still got to watch Alabama play.
Everybody's making.
Is that really what it is? You really just didn't want to watch Alabama? Is that it?
I do not want to watch Alabama anymore. I'm done. I'm done with them. And then Notre Dame, who has arguably a better record than Alabama at 10-2, didn't get in. And I know people are going to say, well, they're not in a conference and this is like a penalty for them. I don't understand how we decided on Tulane and James Madison. Are you telling me James Madison, ranked 24 from the Sun Belt, has any chance of winning their first round game?
Yep.
Like, I think Notre Dame travels better, spends better. If we're going to talk about Alabama and how much they spend and how well they travel, does James Madison travel well?
There's no way you were going to let Miami and Notre Dame go in. So it was
they weren't both getting in.
It was one or the other, and Notre Dame couldn't go because Miami beat them. So that was the bottom
ultimately line. It came down to that loss week 1, that 3-point loss week 1.
Yep.
And I will slam my own team. When Ohio State lost in the Big Ten championship to Indiana, I thought we dropped to 4 because Georgia won there. So Georgia move up to number 2. Texas Tech won their conference championship. They'd move up to 3, and my Buckeyes would drop to 4. Nope.
I didn't agree with that.
2, and I was happier, but I would have been happier seated at number 4 than I am with my matchup at number 2.
I called that one. If they lost, that they were only going to drop down to 2.
Yeah, all they did was flip them.
And that's all they needed to drop down. They looked unbeatable the whole year. They lost to an undefeated Indiana team who everybody didn't think was as good as they were, but we kept seeing them win. So they did that part was perfect, was right. That's the far as they should have gone, just flip-flop.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be like this every year that you have these playoffs where you're going to hope teams make it, don't make it, who should have been, what it could have been. What I do know is every time they have it and every number they make it, Alabama will be one of them.
Agreed.
So once these came out, Notre Dame's head coach, who's one of my favorite people, just as a person.
You know how I feel about him.
Making noise. Came out and basically, I mean, if you believe the internet, they translated what he said into, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. I don't feel that way, and I don't have an issue with it, but I would love to know, Michelle and Sonia, what your take was on Notre Dame. So if you're not aware, I don't know under what rock you're living, if you're not aware, Notre Dame came out and said, cool, we didn't make the playoffs. But just so y'all know, we're removing our name from bulk. If you invited us to a bowl, the answer is no thanks. We're just going to end the season, send everybody home. We got students who need to study for finals, and we got stuff to do. So, and we're not in a conference, so it's not like the other teams in the conference are wanting a share of our money. It's our money, and we have enough money. And we have a booster over here with a checkbook who's going to write a check to cover the fine that we're going to get because we're not going to go to a bowl. And so they're not playing in a bowl.
Sonia, you can go first because I have lots to say. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Of course you have lots to say. I thought of it as I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. And after talking to you, Kate, yesterday, I heard the other side and I was like, I mean, okay, I get that kind of, but I still kind of feel this is more, I'm taking my ball, I'm going home. I thought I was going to be higher than I was, and I don't agree with some of the things. So, no, I'm not going to play. Yeah, I'm not a conference champion, so I'm not going to play. And, bro, you got to be a conference champion. That's all there is to it. Join a conference. You're doing it in every other sport. Why can't you do it with football? Why can't you? It's not that hard. It's not that hard, people. Really. Just join.
Well, personally, I don't have a problem with it because I have not watched the game since the bowl game since they started the playoffs. Outside of the ones that run the playoff games, I don't. What is the point of playing in a bowl game when you're not in the playoffs? That is the purpose of you playing to win a championship. And if that bowl game is not allowing you to win a championship, I'm not going to allow you guys to use me to make revenue because that's what it boils down to. We are Notre Dame. We don't have to get in the conference. We don't need anybody stinking conference in football. We can stand on our own. We have our own TV deal, NBC. We own NBC. We have everything. So why am I going to, go play in bowl, get my players who are trying to go to the pros hurt? Half of them are going to sit out the bowl anyway, and so nobody wants to watch it because you're not even going to have all your starters in. And I think more teams should follow right behind Notre Dame and say we're not going to play in the bowls. Use the bowls for the playoff games. If they're not part of the playoff games, trash them, get rid of them. We don't want to see the TikTok bowl and whatever else bowl they got.
That's the Idaho Potato Bowl. Now,
y'all don't want to watch the Pop-Tart Bowl?
No.
Now?
Michelle, almost everything you said is what I said to Sonia last night. All of the players who are eligible for the draft are going to sit out the bowl, so your superstars aren't going to play, and the game means nothing but revenue, and they don't need the money. And I do think there are times where it's like, you know what, we need to take a break from football. They made the playoff last year. The season was extended. We forget that they are student athletes. They still have finals and exams and things to do. And they had a long season last year. They're going to start spring ball soon. They've got new recruits coming in. Like, you know what? I get rid of all the bowls that are not part of the playoff and let everybody else go home and study and take their exams and do what they need to do. And basically spend a little time looking at the portal and seeing if you might want to move somewhere else. Like, there's a lot of other things to do. I don't have a problem with it. I see a lot of reasons where it makes sense. And like you, I hope we get to a point where all these other bowl games go away. I understand that if you didn't go to Ohio State or Alabama or the U, if you're not playing football at one of these 12 schools, your career is over. And so that bowl game is one last time for you to play in front of a big crowd, maybe get on TV, get to travel to wherever bowl games are fun, right? It's like a boondoggle. It's like a work trip to Cancun or something. They're fun, but there's also still a risk. There is a physical injury risk involved every time you get on that field, whether it's in practice or a game. And for a lot of these kids at all these schools, that's why we see so many of them sitting out now. They don't want to risk getting hurt in a game that really means nothing right before they go to the combine and the draft. So
it's basically just another game to play. It's just another game added to the schedule.
Yep.
It serves no purpose now that you have to check the playoff system. And those playoff games should be played in whatever bowl it is that they want to call it. But that's the only bowls that should be played, and those are the playoffs. That's
Yeah.
my tip anyway.
All right. So from a
I'm good
bracket
with that.
standpoint, number 12, James Madison will play number 5, Oregon. I would like to remind those of you at home who are into gambling for fun or profit, a 12 always beats a 5 in March Madness for basketball. This is not that. I know when you heard Duke and Virginia were playing for the championship, you thought we were starting basketball season already. No, this is still football. I cannot imagine a world where a 12 will beat a 5, but they have to play the game. So James Madison plays Oregon on December 20th. The winner of that game will move on New Year's Day to play Texas Tech. I think it's going to be Oregon. You're going to have 4 against 5. Also on December 20th, number 11 Tulane faces number 6 Ole Miss. I'm not a big believer in Ole Miss. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset in that game because I feel like they're going to go into it way too full of themselves. But the winner of that game will face Georgia on New Year's Day in the southern brackets, I call them. Alabama has Oklahoma on December 19th. The winner of that game will have the pleasure of facing the number 1 ranked team in the country right now, Indiana, on New Year's Day. And Miami has Texas A&M, 7 versus 10 on December 20th. So we have 1 game on the 19th. It's Alabama, Oklahoma. Then 3 on the 20th. Then what's weird is the winner of the game, Miami, Texas A&M, gets Ohio State on New Year's Eve. And then the other 3 are New Year's Day. And I'm not understanding why either Alabama or Oklahoma, the winner of that game gets a whole extra day. Like they play the 19th. They don't play against the 1st. They get 2 extra days, right? Because the winner of Miami, Texas plays on the 20th. And then on the 31st, in 11 days, they got to play Ohio State. So it's almost like they're already cheating and giving Alabama 2 extra days of rest before they got to play.
I'm sitting here like, why does Alabama
all the
play
other
on
ones
the
12,
19th
20, and 1-1.
Right. Well, Miami looks like they have the toughest road to the championship.
I think out of all of them, they do because they've got A&M, and then if they get through Ohio State, I don't know. Alabama, Oklahoma are pretty evenly matched. Oregon and Ole Miss could scoot right on up there. So that gets your quarterfinal games on New Year's Day, 1 on New Year's Eve, 3 on New Year's Day. Semis will be on. Oh, well, let's face it. Ohio State will be playing Georgia on January 8th. Indiana will be playing. I don't know. I think Oregon's going to win. They'll be facing Oregon or Texas Tech on the 9th. And then on the 19th is the championship game. They've spread it out a lot. I don't remember there being this much time. There's almost 2 full weeks between some of these games. Feels like a lot of time.
Yeah, it's they've been doing this a lot lately, which is why I probably forget about the championship game because they just take too long. I mean, get it over with. Stop all of this. I want all of the games to be done on New Year's.
Every week.
Like the old days.
You've got time. Every week there's a game, and we get through it. Michelle, can the U move on to face Ohio State?
That's going to depend.
Is it about Mario or is it about Carson?
It's about both. It's about both. It's about both of those 2 people right there, Mario and Carson Beck, and mainly Carson Beck. Because ATM has a great I call them ATM, Texas A&M and their defense. I can't help it. That's what the helmet says. But Texas A&M has a outstanding defense. And we all saw Beck once, that if he gets pressured and how he reacts. But if Miami can get their running game going, and that's going to be the key. If they can get their running game going, then we have a chance to win the game because that takes some of the pressure off of Beck and some of the plays that we don't have to use. He's better at play action if we can run the ball. So hopefully they'll be able to run the ball. But their defensive line, they're going to have to get at that quarterback. Man, we're going to have to get at the quarterback. Defense is going to have to maybe have to score for us. But if we can we can do it. But Carson Beck and that coach Lisa's has to be on their A game.
No, Lisa says they're the best offensive line in the country.
Yeah,
Y'all
I'm
are going
trying
to
to
be
find the
fine.
actual location of the games. I found 5 different brackets. This is the first one that actually gave me the dates. None of them say which bowl game it is so that I can figure out. I'm going to guess they're all going to be in warm weather.
I
So
was trying to
weather
find
should
that
not
too.
be a factor, right? Probably Texas. Probably what it is. They probably end up at the Cotton Bowl and playing in Texas or something.
So, yeah, hang on. It's Kyle Field. Where's Kyle Field?
I hope Dallas is not in Texas. We don't be doing right.
Hang on.
Texas.
Oh, yep, it's in College Station.
Oh, Texas.
So ATM is hosting the game?
It's what it sounds like. Oh, you know what? The first round is hosted by
The higher the lower
the higher seed.
Yeah.
Yep. Or the lower seed. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Oklahoma's hosting Alabama. Oregon will host James Madison, and Ole Miss will host Tulane. I remember reading that. That's why there's no bowl designation on these, because the next round is Cotton Bowl, Citrus Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl, those bowls.
So Miami has
Hang
to
on
go
one
and face
second.
the 12th man, huh?
Yep, gotta go face the 12th man. Hang on. Hi, Anthony. Thank you so much for subscribing. We love it. Now, we do cover football from a female's perspective, but we cover more than just the Hurricanes, okay?
Yes. You caught us on a night where I'd have nothing to do but complain about the Hurricanes while Michelle is in all her gear and Lisa in the chat.
Yes. They are all about the U.
It's all about the U, Anthony. Always.
But welcome.
Thank you so much, Anthony. We are so glad you are here.
Yes. We hope he comes back. We will be, as long as they're in the playoff, we'll be talking about them this season.
Oh,
so,
of course. Of course.
I am.
Lisa is so confident.
You know, all jokes aside, I am glad you guys got in. It'll be a lot more fun for us to have these conversations. I wish Sonia's team was in, so we got to talk about all our teams today. My team lost the Big Ten championship, but last year my team lost to Michigan and then went out on a playoff run to prove to people that we were good. So that loss to Indiana is just it was 3 points, people.
It was a great game, though. I loved it.
It's going to spur us on. Sonia, I wish we had actual football to talk about for you instead of things that are football adjacent. Is that what we'll call it?
Extracurricular football. Like, what? Bro, really? You had to do
Are we going to talk about my favorite coach who jumps teams every 2 years?
So we can talk about him, and then I want to talk about the Heismans if we got time. Let's talk about your favorite coach.
I don't like him. I was just being funny.
Look, now I'm glad he got picked up because I did not. If there was one person that I did not want to coach, there's 2 people. I don't want Brian Kelly, and I don't want Lane Kiffin.
Now that's the guy that I despise, Brian Kelly. But Lane Kiffin is so funny because literally they have people arguing all over social media about whether he should coach the team. I'm like, if he wanted to coach the team, he would stay. He don't want. Right. I mean, why would they let him coach the game? Why? Why would they? The players didn't even want him there. They're like, get out of the locker room. We don't even want to hear your final thoughts.
Hey, like, that was rude. That was so rude. I'm like, really, bro? Like, that was so rude. Of course, go, scram. I don't even want you. Girl.
Right.
Does that affect our playoff run?
Right, like.
Right, because he left Ole Miss and he went to LSU?
Yeah.
Right? Do you think Ole Miss is better off without him, or does that shake things up for the players? Because they might have a difficult time in their matchup with Tulane.
Or they may be inspired. You know, that they may be inspired to win the game because he left and how he left and, to show everybody. So that's another thing.
All right. Well, Lisa, who don't have time to do the show with us, has all kinds of thoughts on all kinds of things. Heisman Trophy. The finalists came out this week. No surprise, I don't think, on any of them. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana, had almost 3,000 passing yards this season so far. I believe that includes the Big Ten championship game. He had 33 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, and he also rushed for 6 touchdowns. He had almost 300 rushing yards this year. So you got Mendoza. We got my boy Julian Sayin from Ohio State. I don't think he's Heisman worthy. I think he needs another year. But he had 3,300 passing yards, 31 TDs, and 6 interceptions. But dude, don't run. Dude had -2 yards rushing and no rushing. Like Julian, don't run.
He tried.
He's a thrower. He's a thrower, not a runner, a grower. I was going to say that's not the right thing. So Julian Sands in there, which is nice for him. Diego Pavia, quarterback out of Vanderbilt. I saw a lot of Vanderbilt this year. He rushed for 800 yards and had 8 rushing TDs. Passed for almost 3,200. Only 17 passing TDs with 8 interceptions. I think that'll hurt him if I'm going to compare him head to head to Mendoza. But that was more of a product of Vanderbilt's team and the makeup of the team than it was his ability as a passer. And my favorite, and I'm just because I'm sick of quarterbacks, is Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. He had almost 1,400 yards this year in 199 carries. He's averaging 7 yards per catch, 3 receiving TDs, 18 rushing touchdowns. He's just fun to watch. I feel fairly confident in the fact that I would like him to win, and I'm going to pick him to win, but he's not going to win. My confidence is in that you ladies are all going to pick a quarterback. Are you all Team Mendoza like Lisa is?
Well, Jeremiah Love was my candidate when we talked about this in the beginning. So
he was,
and he's still my favorite.
Good.
That's who I would like to see win. I think he had an outstanding season. I don't know if he has enough to make them not pick a quarterback because it's really a quarterback's trophy. But I think out of all of them, that would be my candidate. And if not him, then Mendoza, just on the sheer fact that his team, nobody expected Indiana, and he's really the reason as to why they're there. He carries that team. He's put that team on his back, and he's had an outstanding. I enjoy watching him, actually. I love watching him. He's a tough guy. He's a really tough kid, but my choice is Love. My choice was Love in the beginning, and it's still Love.
Yeah, you picked Travis.
I hate Notre Dame, but it is.
Yeah, you picked Travis Hunter last year at the beginning of the season. I picked Ashton Ginty. Well, I was excited. We both had guys that got through the season healthy, performed well, and made it to the Heisman night. But you picked it last year. We'll see how you do this year. Sonia, who are you leaning towards?
I would like to see Jeremiah Love again because he is not a quarterback, but we all know that, like you said, it's a quarterback's to lose. And Mendoza has just had a fantastic season. I don't know if when Mendoza beat Ohio State did it, Lisa. I'm going to say when he won against Penn State. I think that did it. I was like, that was his Heisman moment. Boom, done. That's all I'm saying.
He's had a couple fourth quarter comebacks that were a big deal. The Penn State game was huge. I could argue the same with Julian Sayin. He's had recently a couple games where we didn't get that fourth quarter comeback against Indiana, but I think the voting was all done before you got to the conference championship games. Mendoza, to me, is a little hot and cold. He has games where the first half is like, what? And then the second half is just insanely good. And that's why I lean towards Jeremiah. He has consistently been fabulous this entire season. But we'll see. I feel like it's either going to be Love or Mendoza, and it'll probably be Mendoza. No offense to Julian. No offense to Diego Pavia, who is a very good quarterback. There were a couple that I thought were going to be in there that weren't. But I think ultimately they got it right. I think whoever they pick is
right.
The one they got it right. And a couple of these guys will be available for the draft this year. So
agreed. I could not argue with who they picked for the Heisman. I was like, yep, that sounds about right. Yeah, I think outside of Diego Pavia, we talked about everybody, So
yeah, we talked about some other guy, Gunnar Stockton a little bit, Marcel Reed. I love me Avril Reese out of Ohio State, but he wasn't ever going to be. He's a safety or a corner. He's not. He's going to go top 10 in the draft, but he's not a Heisman candidate. But some of those guys, those teams just fell apart. And I'm still surprised Oklahoma made it to number 8 in the playoff because they had a rough
Same,
patch
bro.
there a couple weeks ago where they couldn't get out of their own way. And I think that hurt his chances. And I just think Gunnar Stockton is the best name in football right now, the best quarterback name. It's just, you give birth to a kid and that's the name you give him, you must hand him a football next to his bottle, because that's just either, or a hockey player, maybe a hockey player.
Good hockey.
Yeah, or even
I don't
soccer.
Yeah. Why? Just so he can then get signed to a football team to kick?
Yes.
I don't know.
That's it.
All I know is the rumors are circulating now, and if they're not, I'm going to start them, that Dan Marino is going to come out of retirement to get the passing record again, because Phillip Rivers is apparently going to try to keep Matt Stafford from getting it, and Dan Marino's not that far behind.
Well, I heard Terry Bradshaw was on somebody's practice squad. So that's
Oh God, y'all are a whole mess.
There's just so much going on. All right. I don't have anything else today. I'm not thrilled with the top 12, but it won't matter. The Final Four, I think, will be the right Final Four. And at least people got to play to get there. If it was the old system where they just picked 4, I would have been a lot more nervous after the loss to Indiana. And I don't know. I don't know what that would have looked like. But I do think the top 4 teams are, from a talent perspective, the 4 best teams in this country. We'll see how they get coached over the next few weeks. We'll see if they perform on the field. A lot of these games, like the conference championships, are about this 6 inches right here between their ears more than it's about their ability to play. Are they mentally ready for the big moments that they're about to be in? So a lot of good football left to go. So and I think that's maybe what I like the most. We're going to get a lot of good football.
Did we make our picks for the first round games?
So let's make our picks.
Let's make our picks.
All right. Hit it.
James Madison versus Oregon.
Oregon.
You know I love to go with the upsets, but I'm gonna say Oregon. Boo. I'm gonna be pulling for James Madison though.
Same. I love chaos.
Tulane and Ole Miss.
Tulane and Ole Miss. I'm going. I think. I want Tulane to win, but I'm gonna say Ole Miss.
I'm gonna go Tulane too. I think that is an upset in the making. We'll see how those Ole Miss players react to what's going on. Oklahoma, Alabama. Please, baby Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt, Oklahoma.
Please let it be Oklahoma. Please let it be
Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner, baby.
And then the last matchup, Texas A&M versus the U. I'm taking the U. I think you're going to have a hard game.
I will not pick against the U. Not going to do it.
Tech cannot turn that ball over. Texas Tech will eat you alive. If he can hold on to the ball and make good choices, I think y'all will be okay.
Let's see your picks in our chat. Who has it? Let me see what they have.
Let's see your picks in the chat. I want to know Oklahoma versus Alabama. I see Lisa's picking Ole Miss. She's picking Oklahoma. James Madison or Oregon?
Ducks.
And the Canes, of course.
Oh.
Yep, he thinks Tulane's going to upset the Rebels.
For Tulane. Yes. Very nice.
Yeah.
And, of course, Lisa's taking the Hurricanes. The U.
Okay, what Kristen, you going for the U? Yay.
Yes. And then she's going Oklahoma. Yes.
I think Texas Tech is a very good team, but they've also gotten very lucky and been very intimidating the last couple of weeks. And I don't know that Miami can be intimidated. Carson Beck can. And if he, like I said, if he can just hold on to the ball, even Mario can't. I hate to jinx it. Even Mario can't mess this up if Carson doesn't turn the ball over.
Agree.
Sorry, I hope I'm not jinxing you. Okay. I think the games are not until the 19th and 20th. So maybe next week, Sonia, will throw up some polls so people can make some selections rolling into it. But looking at the calendar, I think we have next week's show on the 17th, and then we're going to be off until we'll be off Christmas Eve, then off New Year's Eve. We'll be back January. So we'll be back next week on the 17th. Then we won't be back until January 7th. And by then the Final Four will be set. All
That's
those
the day after my birthday. I may or may not be here. I'm just saying. I'll be here.
I'll be here. You just may or may not be sober. It's okay. We understand.
We get it. We get it.
We'll figure it out. If the U wins through there, she'll be celebrating right here on the air.
I'll be back with this same attire.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Awesome.
But yeah,
All
real
right,
quick,
everybody.
Anthony, before we sign out, just because you're new here, and I'll just let you know, we did talk about this. And Kate and Michelle basically felt that, it's okay, that they don't need the money, that it's going to be fine. They'll be fine. They don't really need to be in it. They're not in the top 4 bowl. They don't really need to go to a bowl. Their kids, their kids are going to go to the draft. They don't need to risk injury going to the draft.
Nobody needs to go to a bowl.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I understand the point of it's disappointing for the players that if it's their last year that they don't get to go to a bowl game, but most of them it's their last year because they're going to the draft. They weren't going to play in that bowl game anyway.
They said that the players
moved and they just took their ball and went home.
They said the players voted. The players didn't want to go. The players didn't want to play in the bowl. I mean, why? If you play to win the game, Herman Edwards, you play to win the championship, and they're not eligible for it.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right, y'all. Thank you for another amazing show. You guys were great. Chat, y'all were wonderful. Everybody in social media world, thank you so much. Can't wait to chat with y'all next week. See if we can get some more resolutions. See if we can't pick some more stuff and talk about who actually won the Heisman. Yay! Yeah. So until then, go the U and all that good stuff.
08.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be exciting to see Miami and Ohio State again? Lisa, so they can bring up all of our bad issues of the flag that was thrown at the end of the game. We don't want to see that. Yeah.
Oh, God, no, we don't want that again. Oof, memories. All right, friends. Well, we will see you next week. Bye, y'all.
See you.